Oh yeah, this will be fun. And we've got a real conglomeration of boats. We have two Ron Jones boats out there. We have an Ed Carrollson, we have a Suey, and we have a Kelson. Wow. And we talk about being a family sport and things. If you look around down there on the beach and you see those green shirts, comrade, raise your hand.
There he is.
Annabelle has just the greatest fans there could be. And we're actually down on count today. I don't know, where's all the green shirts? We're a little bit low.
Well, they're having their post-Seahawks victory drink.
I can believe that. I see some clapping down there. No, I think at Pateris there had to have been 60 of them over there, and they were screaming and hooting and hollering. They're always great fans and always support the team, and we're blessed to have them involved in this. But talking about the conglomeration of boats, as you see Jerry Kelson going by here, we're also blessed. And this, by the way, this was the last Kelson inboard hydro built.
Oh my.
And
number 20 here in
the M20, yes. And Jerry found us back in Cincinnati. It doesn't have a lot of racing history, but bought the boat, got it back here, spent the last year or so putting it back together, and finally able to get out here this weekend and start running, and that's fun to watch. But the neat thing, even more so than that, is Dad, Don, is the builder of that boat. Don is here. Don's virtually at every event with us. We're also blessed to have Ed Carrollson here today, and I talked to Ed earlier, and I'm hoping if Brad gets a chance, he can get with those two fellows and talk with them during the time we're out there. Interesting, innovative guys who have added so much to this sport.
The number 20 boat you were talking about, Jim, do you know who had that boat in APBA Region 6 or
that I don't.
Racing Day? Okay.
That I don't. If Don gets near a microphone, or Eddie Kelson, they can probably fill him in on that, but I don't have that information. I wish I did. You see Kelly going by here in the Annabelle S. We come down to 1 minute right now. So everybody's going to get lined up and try and come down and give everybody that photo start that we always want to try and do.
And the Vintage is here in APBA Region 10. They go by the clock start. The lanes are assigned. It's not racing. It's a simulation. And Jim, once again, I echo those. The way you do it out here, I think I've probably got, in the East Coast, I've probably got the only boat for you, but I like it.
Well, no, I know there's others back there that would probably do this, but we're going to have to just get some of those people out here, indoctrinate them, and we'll prevail on that. When they see it, like you, it was new 2 years ago to you when you first saw it this way. It is more fun this way. Yeah, they go fast back east, but when they're one at a time, it just loses a little bit.
I got a question for you.
You've always got a question.
I think where is Tom Bertolini's Deepwater Special? I know he sold it to somebody out here. Where's that boat?
That's up in Edmonds. John Husick and his wife own that boat, and they also have his father-in-law's Joyamia boat as well, and that is down at the Kelson shop, and it's getting ready for paint. They've done a restoration on that, returned it to the form it was in before it had a capsule. But I think John's enjoying life right now, and he's not doing a lot of running the boat. We had him at Chelan last fall. Hopefully he'll be back out for that event this year, but right now they're taking a break.
Well, you talk about Team Green down there in the Annabelle S, and thank you for that answer, by the way. You talk about those guys, and you say they're not racing out here, but I tell you what, the way everybody just blew through this lower corner, don't tell the folks down there in the dock, Team Green, that they're not racing, because if they come by and the nose of that green boat is out in front, as you and I both know, you'll think they just won the Gold Cup.
Oh, without a doubt.
I just saw some fist pumps down there.
Yeah. It was green shirts, too.
Well, he's not out there yet, but boy, look at that Kelson Hall and the Buccaneers.
Well, and you have...
Two-time world record holder, that Buccaneer from 1972. That thing's a rocket.
Double world record holder, both kilo and competition record.
Yep.
And that's another great family in David and John Leach. The other thing you talk about the Kelson hull out front, you got to remember that's the newest of these boats, and it also probably has about the most horsepower of any of the boats. So you expect him to be up there. Second heat ever in that boat since it was put back together, and that boat is running extremely well. So it's fun to see, and to see him and David Leach out there side by side is even better. It's just fun to watch, and they're putting on a good show. I see a rooster tail or two behind them coming quickly, so you know they want to be part of the fun.
I love that Carlson design conventional 5-liter E1. Boy, that was a long 5-liter in its day.
Well, actually a 280. That was a 280 hull, and you see Kramer doing a little bounce in there in the water scamp. That's the difference between those boats. You notice that the Calypso is not bouncing around the same. Even though it's a conventional, it's got a wider transom. That bottom stays wide all the way to the transom on it, so it does turn better. It doesn't get as sloppy down in the turns.
Keep an eye on that docks down there when they come by the next time. Annabelle S. on the inside has taken a bit of a lead here. And if they're ahead when they come down here, you're going to see fists go up in the air on the end of that dock. That is the example of how you go vintage racing. They've got the entire family, that whole team. They're a great group of people.
Well, the whole point of this was to have fun.
Well, and they're doing it.
That group knows how to have fun, and they make it fun for all of us. So...
Look at that little Kelson hull. That's the hull you and I, Jeff, we're looking at out here this morning. That's a beautiful boat.
Oh, it is gorgeous and beautiful sight here. Spanaway Lake, as we're in the Vintage 2 portion, the medium boats. Our class sponsor, the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum. And Jim, assigned lanes, is that something you do, or do they draw them out of a hat, or do you have the final say?
Well, this weekend it's my say. Jerry Kelson was actually our driver's rep for this weekend, but you know, when I got here yesterday morning and I saw the work that he had to do and the number of boats, I went, why don't I just do this? So, you know, it's just a matter of taking care of one another. Jerry stepped up this year. He's on the board at Seattle Inboard. He's helping with all of this, all the work they have in their shop, which is a pattern shop, and it's a lot more than boats. But Jerry's got a ton of things. He didn't get the boat done because he was helping others like Doug Brown trying to get theirs finished. So, you know, we just got to step in and help where we need to. And that's why we have a vintage driver's rep at every event, because that's their call. They put the lineup together, confer with your referee like Doug Shelton here and like we did 2 weeks ago in Pateros, and make sure that it works for the program.
White flag is displayed. I believe it looks like they're working their final lap. Jim, I was speaking with Brad yesterday on our way down to Spanaway Lake, and all these are inboards. What about the great races yesteryear at Green Lake in Seattle?
I will never forget. I remember Harry Snyder, the first time he came out in the Tiger 2, and I think 64, the cab over, and there's a beautiful picture in the Bob Carver book of that, as somebody was blowing over next to him, and he looked like he was sitting in an easy chair as he was driving by. But no, it's fun. There was so many things there. I think back to Larry Lauterbach coming out in the Lauterbach Special and running 120 miles an hour in a conventional on that lake. Just incredible stuff went on there. The world records that were set, and for many, many years, the fastest body of water in the world for inboard hydros, without a doubt.
Did the late Jim Cropfield and Steve Reynolds, I believe, they had a memorable battle. Was that in 2.5 knot back then, if memory serves me right?
2 1/4.
2 1/4.
2 1/4. 225 hydro. Okay. You had the two of them out there, and I'm sure Steve would rather not remember it either.
It was east and west. I think Crappie got him right at the end.
And it was two of the best that ever drove them. Two great boats, and just super competition. And that always went on there. You know, we have 70 plus boats here this weekend. Well, back in the day at Green Lake, you would see well over 125 boats. and 25 280 hydros. It was eliminations every time. So as Brad heads back to the dock right now to continue his duties, thank you again for allowing me to come up here and say a few words. And if you get a chance, go look at these boats. And while we're still on it, just outside the pit fence, there is a vintage inboard. It's called the Madam Blue, and that is one of the boats that Ed Carrollson built. I think national champion a couple of times under different monikers, Mr. Bud and Madam Blue.
Oh, Mr. Bud.
Yep. So, there's some great history here. Yeah, Terry Troxel drove that boat. It has quite the history. So, there's a lot of things to find out, and I keep learning every time I show up or I talk to somebody, and I see Ed or Don Kelson down here on the dock headed back to the trailer now. Successful heat. We're glad everybody's back, and we look forward to Vintage 3 coming out here in a little bit, and you'll see the Marion Bluegrass go out there and lay down some nice speeds.
There you go. Jim Olson with us. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank our class sponsor for the Vintage, the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum, located in Kent, Washington, located at 5917 South 196th Street. To see more vintage racing in the coming weeks, Lake Chelan, Washington is the site. October 5th and 6th for Mahogany and Merlot, the West Coast Premier Vintage Boat Show, with more than 50 vintage boats, including 14 limited inboard hydros, 6 vintage unlimiteds, and 30 classic runabouts. 5 leaders prepare for countdown.